Hi, I'm Paul Darley, and thanks for tuning into our May issue of Inside Darley. As you're probably aware, the grants for the Assistance to Firefighter Grant Program are out now. Fire departments can apply until May 28th. This year, there's a total of $390 million that's going to be awarded. Now, that's down substantially from the $565 million that we had last year, as some of that money is shifted over to the SAFER program. But it is up from what's currently in the budget for 2011, and that is currently $305 million. So we would encourage you to contact your legislators and ask them to increase funding for the Fire Act program. Here in Illinois, we're actually doing that. We've teamed up with a number of FEMA and PHMSA member companies, as well as with the Illinois Metropolitan Fire Chiefs Association. And on June 3rd, we're having an Illinois Fire Service Home Day. And if you can imagine, we have 11 staffers from 10 different congressional offices coming in, and they're actually going through a complete firefighting exercise, as well as having time for us to sit down and educate them on these legislative issues and the importance of those programs we discussed. We're just back from the FDIC. It was another good show this year. They had actually over 27,000 people in attendance from 33 countries, so good representation there. There were a lot of new products on the floor, and I think probably the thing that struck me the most relative to the new products were the number of new vehicles that manufacturers were displaying that utilized large volume PTO-driven pumps. And when I talk about large volume, I'm talking 1,250 and 1,500 GPM pumps. And if you think back to just, 15 years ago, really Rosenbauer were the pioneers, really the first ones to come out and push that concept using a Darley PSP. That's our P-Series pump, single suction design, PTO driven, as a 1250 and a 1500 GPM pump. Since that time, about 3 or 4 years ago, Pierce introduced the puck. And in many ways, they really revolutionized and also validated that whole concept of large volume PTO pumps. And they had 4 pucks on display in their booth, as well as some new responder vehicles, which also has a PTO-driven pump. Crimson also had a brand new vehicle called the Transformer. That vehicle had a Darley PSP 1250, also rateable up to 1500 GPM pump in there. And all of these vehicles, the PTO pump is working for a number of reasons. I think number one is because it's getting over any 2010 emissions issues that are taking place with all of this new equipment that needs to be located behind the cab, where traditionally the pump a split shaft pump has been located. But number two, you're getting a shorter wheelbase. Number three, more compartmentation, because the pump's taking up a lot less space on that truck. So more compartmentation and allowing the fire departments to do more. And we've actually attached for you here a copy of an article I wrote in July of 2007 entitled "PTO Pumps, Their Time Has Come." We'd encourage you to download that. And back in 2007, we really predicted that this trend was going to take place. It's interesting, with the PSP pump, Darley now, we're the only pump manufacturer who can do this, can rate our pump at 1500 GPM with the Allison EVS transmission and an engine that's governed at as low as 2200 RPM. So this is a radical change from the past. We used to be limited to 2600. An engine had to be governed up to 2600 RPM. But Muncie has given us their approval with the CS41 PTO when it's coupled with an Allison EVS transmission that has a 1 o'clock PTO location. And on that transmission, there's both a 1 o'clock and an 8 o'clock PTO, so you can drive it from either one of those ports. And we would encourage you to contact us. We'll be happy to share a copy of that rating with you. Also, part of the reason why we're able to rate that pump higher behind these pump and engine combinations is because we've designed a new impeller for that PS pump. And now when we're putting that impeller into a split shaft midship pump, the PSM pump, it can now be rated at up to 1,750 gallons per minute. And our ISO 9000 rating, we were, I believe, the first company in the fire service to be ISO 9000 rated. We've been rated for over 15 years, or certified for over 15 years. We will not and cannot, in fact, rate a UL rated pump at its stated performance unless we have at least a 15% margin over that performance at 150 PSI. So that means that our PSM 1750 pumps are flowing on average about 2,000 GPM coming out of our test room. We wanted to share a couple of other items with you that are kind of outside the fire service, but one is we've attached a book summary for you called Re-Engage, and I just had an opportunity to listen to this book on tape in the last week and thought it was excellent. I think we as in this industry Many of us are probably out there really chasing business and having our focus there, and maybe not so much focusing on our internal customers, that being our employees. And this book really highlights 6 ways to make sure that your employees are remaining engaged during these difficult times. And it really, number one, starts out at the top. You've got to have a leadership team that is engaged and competent and caring and listening to their employees. Number 2, you have to have middle managers who are out there, who understand the message and are conveying it and listening and working very closely with their direct reports. Number 3, it's effective teamwork throughout the entire organization. None of this we versus they stuff that has a tendency to sometimes go on. Number 4, they talk about making sure that your employees feel that their jobs are enriching and making sure that there's professional growth opportunities for them. Number 5, making sure that you show your employees how much you value their contributions. And number 6, making sure that you are genuinely responding to the concerns and your employees' well-being. And there's some excellent ideas and things that you can implement in this article. Lastly, like you, I've been sitting here watching this President Obama's healthcare reform and really trying to get a handle on, what's this going to mean to Darley Company, what's it going to mean to our customers. And we're a member of the National Association of Manufacturers. It's called NAM, N-A-M. We've actually attached for you here an excellent summary of what that program, what that healthcare reform is going to mean for small businesses and large businesses as well over the next 8 years. They've broken it down incrementally year by year. So thanks for tuning into this issue of Inside Darley. If there's anything that we can be doing to support you, we hope you'll reach out to us. Thank you very much.